guys, let's watch this video on prenuptial modern day marriages. It's crazy.
Prenup demand instantly led to a couple breaking up.
Ooh, that's a good one. I just had one recently. Hopefully they're not a viewer. I had a young guy in finance in his late 20s, early 30s. Good net worth for that age, you know, maybe like 2-3 million, which for that age is very impressive.
That's hell of impressive. If you're not even 30, but you got a $2 to $3 million net worth, you're killing the game.
First million's the hardest. And I don't know what she was trying to do, but she laid out a list of, first of all, her lawyer called me, and it's someone I've dealt with before. And he said, I just want you to know this list isn't coming from me. And I said, wow, we're off to a bad start. And he said, yeah. He said, you're gonna want to put me on mute so you can laugh out loud when you hear this list. He goes, some of it I think your guy should just concede, but some of it is ambitious. And I said, and you're using ambitious as a term because you're a gentleman, but really what you want to say is that, like, it's batshit crazy, you know? And sure enough, it was. Like, she wanted a personal monthly allowance for cosmetic procedures like Botox and lashes and hair and nails. And she wanted a certain number of vacations per year that had to be a certain level. Like, the flights either had to be private or first class. She was basically like saying, you have to maintain this incredibly high level of providing for me.
That's crazy. What do you think about that? This is a prenup before you even get married. She let you know who she is, what she wants, if you marry her.
And I listened to this list, and it was preposterous. I mean, she wanted a certain amount for clothing. She wanted a certain amount if she got pregnant, there would be a certain number of vacations that she got, and then she'd get a push present for each baby, meaning that, like, she would get like a gift, like a jewelry. It had to be like a minimum.
Did I just hear push baby? This is this modern society generation, social media, everything. Push baby, meaning she delivers a baby. She wants $100,000 to go through the rights of motherhood, the blessed right of motherhood, to bring life into the world. You say the man has to pay you for that. This today's generation, guys. Let's continue.
Value of $100,000. It was crazy.
A push present.
A push present. I've never even heard of that. It's a thing, apparently. I actually had not heard the term, but I'm 53, so there's a lot of stuff you young people say. Like, I didn't know what Riz was either.
I am incredibly amazed at the fact that these guys even continue in this relationship with these type of women that would even get to the point to where they would make these type of demands in the prenuptial agreement. Because if you're smart enough to actually get a prenup, then that means that you should have been at least smart enough to find out that this woman was not going to be the woman that you were supposed to be with. Because I can't hear anything, not one thing that he said that I would actually agree to. Not one thing. Because a prenuptial agreement is supposed to be the thing that happens in case you ever get a divorce, from what I understood, right? It's not supposed to be a requirement for how you're supposed to be inside of a marriage. And to say a person that has a $2 to $3 million net worth is supposed to give you a private jet is crazy. Or at least, you know, have you riding a private jet. If you got a $2 to $3 million net worth, you are not supposed to be on a private jet. Now, if you just so happen to be able to use the company's jet, or you do a deal to where, you know, they'll fly you out on the company's jet on a company's dime or something, and that's a completely different conversation. But to say that you are supposed to have in this type of lifestyle where you get a push present, I've heard of that nonsense before, and I'm like, why would anybody give you a present for pushing a baby? Like, I'm from the old school, and maybe I'm just built different, or maybe I just come from a different place, but you was just happy to have the kid, and you was bonding with the child, but it wasn't supposed to be some kind of financial thing. And I truly believe that social media has done a number on people.
I rely on the young people who work in my office. And I was like, do you know what a push present is? And one of the girls up front was like, yeah, it's a present that you get like right before you're about to have a baby. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, oh, because you're going to push out the baby. It's like a gift. And I'm like, isn't pushing out the baby the gift? They were like, no. It's like a gift's like a piece of jewelry you get or whatever. Like, look, I don't think there's anything unromantic. I think if you are having a baby with a woman and you buy her a piece of jewelry like right before she has the baby and say like, oh, I wanted you to remember this lovely moment in our relationship before you had the baby. And whenever you look at it, I want you to think about the fact, oh, that's the present you gave me before our kid was born. Like, that's very sweet. That's lovely. But like to give it a name and put a financial demand on it, like, man, you're really like, you're taking something kind of sweet and turning it into something. It'd be like me saying like, I wish to have sex at least this many times per week and oral sex at least this many times per week. Like, it's like, okay, guys, we all know what we want in this economy of this relationship, but like you're saying it out loud and putting it on paper. So I was worried because
Can you make sexual demands in a prenup?
you can put it in a prenup. Yeah. You can put it in it. Yeah.
That is insane, bro. It's supposed to be natural. It's supposed to be organic. You're supposed to want to do it with each other, and she's supposed to pine for you. If you got to put a demand in the prenuptial agreement, bro, let's just get out of this whole relationship and walk away. This shouldn't even have been a conversation. I would have been up out of there ASAP.
Yeah. It's not enforceable by the state, meaning they can't be like, you owe him this many blowjobs. But you can put it in there that says that there would be penalties in the event that there was a lack of sex or and I've seen some people do it. I discourage people from putting those kinds of clauses in, but people do it all the time. People put it
Push baby clauses. What Anton was right about, because we didn't with on that, was the ideal that this prenuptial is what happens. It's supposed to save your revenue that you came in before, and whatever you have after that day, you guys divide. But then if this person is showing you, she is basically saying, okay, I do a prenup, but I want all these demands in there. Meaning, if you don't meet these demands, then the prenup is void. See, she's setting the game up, rigging the game already. Even if like you said, a lot of stuff ain't gonna go to court, but there's a lot of things that will go to court. So she's putting demands already in the system. So if you don't meet them, then their prenup will be throughout. There's all kind of cold games that people play. So to say, okay, I signed a prenup, but make this demand. No, just sign the prenup. Ain't no demands. So standard prenup, just sign it. Meaning what you came in, you got. What I came in, I got is mine. I'm not losing nothing. What we gain together, we split, and you can get something from that. But what I had already is what I maintain. No, that ain't. Nope. That's the way it is. And if you don't like that, then it's not meant to be. So basically, she's basically showing her hand up front through the prenup. So it tells you what you might want to do from the beginning. All right, because now you see this will sound more like a business deal now than protecting each person's interest, because everybody knows the laws are now predominantly leaning towards women's benefits. Not all, some are. Uh, so you want to protect certain interests for your future, and just in case the possibility if it doesn't go a lifetime. So yeah, that's reasonable. Well, let's continue on here. What else got to be said? It's crazy.
infidelity clauses. People put in all kinds of crazy things.
What's the most common job of a woman that divorces her husband?
In my experience, the most common job of a woman who divorces her husband is either a nurse. The infidelity rates are the highest among nurses. Teachers. There's a lot when it comes to teachers, because teachers it's a predominantly female profession, so it's women who spend a lot of time with other women.
So the perception is true. Nurses, I didn't know about teachers, but nurses, flight attendants, all of those type of people, police officers. I'm guessing that he's just speaking from the woman's perspective, though. All of those things have always been a thing that has been, complained about. People that are married to nurses often at times get divorced.
And they spend a lot of that time talking about how much their husbands suck or men suck. But I think statistically the highest would be homemakers. Like homemakers, I hesitate to use the term stay-at-home mothers.
A woman that is not fruitful, that is not busy, that is not adding value in some way, shape, or form, especially if she just stay at home with no children, is bound to find herself in the middle of the devil's workshop doing the devil's do.
Because once a kid is like in the school years, like you're not like sitting at home like darning the socks and making elaborate meals and like it's usually like you're just not working.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, I think our society has gotten a lot of things are much easier than they used to be. If you ever watch on YouTube like some of those life in the 1800s, life in the 1700s channels, like you see how much it takes to like make an apple pie over like a wood stove, like that's a whole thing,
I guess.
Whereas
why does a housewife or a homemaker slash housewife, like, why does she divorce her husband?
I think idle hands are the devil's plaything, like I think the tasks that used to be incumbent on a homemaker are very easily done now. And so like if you read like the Unabomber's manifesto, Ted Kaczynski's manifesto, Industrial Society and Its Future, he basically talked about how like the downfall of society was going to be how easy technology has made our lives.
Yep.
And that the pursuit of our basic needs, like getting nutrition, hydration, shelter, is going to get so unbelievably easy that we have to create what he called surrogate activities, which is like things to chase after and do to make us feel like we have purpose in our life. Because really, like most creatures on the earth, other than humans, are trying to make it through the day and not get eaten.
Facts.
And possibly eat enough to make it through the day. So they're trying to find food and not be food. Humans, we've got that down. We have got that down. Like you don't need a whole day to make an apple pie now. I could go on my phone and have 3 apple pies delivered here from 3 different places within a half an hour. So when you were a stay-at-home mom in 1920, you were washing the cloth diapers. And a lot of times you were doing it with a wash basin. You weren't doing.
And that's what I try to tell people all the time. Even a stay-at-home wife, she has to be purposeful and utilizing her time effectively beyond what traditional women used to do in their lives, because it's not the same. You got, how does the house even get dirty? Number one. Number two, you got a washing machine that will time it and start itself back over if it feels as though the clothes are still damp. You got dishwashers, you got every single imaginable opportunity, and then people still be having cleaners come in and clean their house. I know I do. I still be having cleaners come by all of the cribs that we have. But people are trying to make it seem like being a housewife or a stay-at-home mother is so difficult. Nah, I don't go for it, big dog.
With a washing machine that you just stick a pot in, press the button, and go about the rest of your day. If you were cooking something, like prepared foods wasn't even a thing. Like you'd go to the grocer or the butcher and you would buy the things to make a meal, and then you would make that meal for your family, And so it required quite a bit of effort. And so there was an equality. Like the man was out there working traditionally in the 1920s, 1930s, men were in the workforce, women were at home, but they were both really working. Like they both had a really hard job, Now that job's really easy. I'm sorry. I know it's like not a popular thing to say. Like every time I say in the comments that like stay-at-home mom is not a hard job. Like
I totally agree with him with technology today, because I remember, like, we about close to the same age. I remember my grandmother. I remember just like with my dad, we used to go to like the butcher shop and get meat from back in the Midwest, and then I should go and I should watch my grandmama cook, and I should prepare food like they had to really prepare the food like real food, pork chops, and she would cook it, clean up the pork chops, and wash them down, and then put them in, get the gravy and have everything chopped up ready, and make the gravy the night before, have it set and ready, and then put it all together. Then have it up. Then my auntie come home from her little part-time job or whatever, and she would have her do a couple of things, and she was always had a home cooked meal, dinner, because she worried about her husband. He worked in the forestry. My grandpa worked in the forestry, and my granny, she worked as a nurse. And yeah, they used to get at it, man. Seriously, they used to get at it. And yeah, I remember them moments, how hard. Yeah, I remember the change over the 80s, the 90s. still hard because grandma was like that in the 80s, in the 90s. But that was their old fashioned now. They doing it because it's old fashioned, but things got easier. Oven, conviction ovens, microwaves, all kind of stuff that help, the amenities that help. And then as it got better and better, it was easy to those things. Things started getting microwavable meals and stuff like that. Fast restaurants started popping up everywhere. So it just got so convenient. But yeah, I totally agree with this.
Hot tar roofer, that's a hard job. Landscaper, that's a hard job. I'm not saying it's not an important job. I'm not saying it's not a job that doesn't require some bandwidth from you. But they're kids. Like you're not, it's not, you're not breaking rocks. Like this is.
I agree with them 100%. I think that we need to redefine what relationships are, and maybe that'll be a part of the conversation that we have on after hours tonight. But let me know what you guys think inside of the comments. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna holler at you guys later. Peace.
Hey, I think this is a good one. I think this is right. It's funny to hear about modern prenups and how people are coming to these prenups agreements and then and expecting all this, and then life is so easy. Like, take care of yourself. You know, you're not gonna be left with nothing. You're not gonna. Ain't no man, no average man gonna do anything that crazy. And you won't marry no insane type of person. So naturally, you're gonna have a lot of things set already for you if that's what you're looking for a way out. He's looking for to maintain certain things, but you're looking for the way out in by doing your part. So everybody's looking. It's just crazy as you look at these type of prenuptial agreements. And I don't know. I don't know. At the end of it, if someone told me something like that, I'd never marry no person like this. So that's my opinion. That person never marry. That person would never marry a person like me. So it goes both ways. So this is interesting to look at this from a different perspective, and just to see what modern day young people think about marriage. It's interesting. It's just different. It's foreign to me, but it's a reality to others. So yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, I'm a little more traditional on that aspect. Yeah, this has been interesting. Leave a comment, subscribe. I'm just doing a reaction to this video. I think it's very interesting. Yeah, modern day. I guess he's an attorney. Then this is more from an attorney perspective what they deal with their clients. So it's interesting modern day marriages, prenuptial agreements. Yeah, what do y'all think? Leave subscribe, comment down below. It's amazing.